Thank you, Spot, for holding my place there. And good morning, everyone. My name is Kurt Carlson, and here at Vaudeville, I'm known as the Director of Positive Mojo. Thank you for joining me again this morning for the next webisode in our series. Today's topic actually was selected by you. After the feedback from our most recent webisode, the most popular topic you wanted advice on was award presentation and award presentation tips and ideas. That's what we're going to cover today. I actually have 4 main tips that I'm going to go over. The first one being, why do award presentations? Number 1. Number 2, how do you make award presentations personal? I've got some tips on how to do that as well. 3, what makes for a great award presentation? And then lastly, 4, the appropriate choice of award based on the type of event that you're doing. And I'm hoping we'll have a little bit extra time because I've got a 5th one I'd like to talk about, and that's how to do daily recognition awards as well. So before we start, let me introduce who's with me in the studio of my office today, and that's our own social media maven and coordinator of social media, Corey Curtis.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us this morning. We've got a great presentation for you. If you have any questions during the presentation, please submit them in the chat box. You can see that directly to the right of the video screen. You should be able to type your comment right into that bar, hit send, and Kurt will respond to it as we go. You can also send us a comment on Twitter by using our username at Vaudeville. Kurt?
Thank you, Corey. So let's start right in with my point number 1, which is why should you have presentations for your awards if you have a recognition program? So I'm assuming all of you have some type of recognition program in place. If you aren't doing an award presentation with your recognition programs, you are missing a moment of power, because public recognition is one of the most impactful ways that you can motivate people. So think about our social history and growing up, if you did in the United States, you first experience your first award ceremony, say at school, or then you have a sports banquet. And then as you get older, as you become an adult, you see award presentations for sporting events, or the Emmys or the Oscars. And as you watch those events, you feel inspired, you feel motivated, you're proud. That is the power that you're trying to convey in your organizations, and I'm going to help you do it today. So how do you create that culture? The first is to make sure that you start and have some type of award presentation. Probably the easiest one you can start with is service anniversaries. So all of you have employees or volunteers who have been with your organizations a certain number of years. Pick their anniversary dates. Use that as your opportunity. Because remember, that's how you retain top talent, is by acknowledging and appreciating. So here's what I'm going to give you one of my first tips on how to make a great award presentation. We have a couple awards here at Vaudeville that are formal. So one of them is a peer-nominated award where employees nominate someone to be recognized, and then there's one that's manager-nominated. And at the end of the year, the recipients of the manager-nominated award receive what's called our Inspire Award Trophy. So it's a gorgeous, formal trophy. But the technique and the tip I'm going to share is, at this formal event, our president and CEO, Brad DeRouge, does not disclose in advance who the winners are. So when he's making his presentation, he starts to describe bit by bit characteristics of the people who are about to be honored. So everyone in the room is looking around thinking, could it be this person? Is it that person? Imagine the anticipation and the excitement that builds. And then he finally reveals the names, and there's much celebration and lauding of the people who were awarded. So that's a tip that you can use too to help build anticipation when you're giving an award at a presentation.
Kurt, how do you make an award presentation personal?
Perfect segue into my topic number 2, Corey, which is how do you make an award presentation personal? Probably that should be your primary objective when you're giving an award and doing a presentation, is you want to be sincere, you want it to be genuine, and you want it to be personal. One of my favorite ways to do it is to share a story. So as an example, last year we launched a new website here at Vaudeville, and the team who did that was honored at a special event here at the company, and they each got a nice trophy. But the technique and tip I'm going to share, when our vice president of marketing was presenting the awards, he shared this fun story where one of the nights that they had a very important upload to do overnight, there was a storm here in Michigan, and we lost power to the building. So there was much scrambling and a lot of chaos that ensued trying to get the website uploaded. That story, when sharing this award, is so memorable that it really stands out in people's minds today. Another easy thing to do is to have a special setting. So let's say it's not going to be a surprise event where the people who are receiving the award already know who they are. See if you can get a hold of their friends and family. If you're able to invite them so that they can be a part of this special event, maybe have a special table or a VIP seating section, it's a really powerful way to have that person feel so proud in front of people who are supportive of them and to get them in the recognition mood. One last tip that makes it easy is if you already have some type of existing company event, if you have quarterly meetings or if you have some type of regular event going on, that's your opportunity. You already have the stage set, so you can easily get on the agenda. You just have to take the first step and make it happen.
Kurt, making an award presentation personal is so important, but what if you don't know the award recipient very well or you don't work with them?
You know, it happens more frequently today than you might imagine. As people change in organizations or you move or reorganize, suddenly you might have an employee reporting to you who you don't actually know very well. So the first thing you need to do, make sure you talk to people who know that employee. So if you can easily find out who their friends are, ask them, hey, what are likes, dislikes, tell me about this person. Something we do here at Baudville that's a great tip and technique I'll share is every employee who works at Baudville fills out what we call our Tell Us About You form. It's a very simple 2-page form, and it's kept in our Human Resources office. So if you suddenly have an employee who's new to you but has been with the company for a while, you can actually go to Human Resources, check out their form, and get ideas about, you know what would be really great? I could get this employee a gift card to their favorite restaurant because I learned about it here. So I'm going to make this form available as a PDF in my blog posting that'll follow here, so be sure to check it out and incorporate this today at your organization. And lastly, just take the recipient out to lunch, especially if it's not going to be a surprise of who the award recipient is. Get to know them, take them out to lunch. What are their career aspirations? Find out what they're interested in. That way you'll have all sorts of great resources to make it personal when you do the award presentation. So this is also a great segue into my third point that I wanted to make today. How do you make a great presentation? Well, practice. Practice, practice. It's all about practicing. I can't stress it enough. I can't underscore it. You have to practice. In fact, there's a story about some people asked Steve Jobs. Each year he unveils some new Macintosh or Apple product at a technology show, and it's always very polished and there's a lot of pomp and circumstance, and they ask him, how do you do it so effortlessly? It seems natural. His answer, I practice. So even Steve Jobs knows that he has to practice. So don't think that you can avoid it, especially if it's going to be a formal presentation. Make sure you jot out your notes and thoughts in advance so that you can practice it. If it's going to be an informal event, maybe it's just a stand-up meeting or it's at a typical weekly staff meeting, you still want to put your thoughts down on paper first so you can practice it. Otherwise, you run the risk of it not coming across as genuine, sincere, and personal.
Kurt, a lot of people like to use jokes in their award presentations. What do you think about that? Do you recommend it?
I strongly advocate against using jokes. Humor in certain contexts can be okay, but unless you know what you're doing, I would advise you to avoid jokes altogether. Now here's a tip. You may not even realize it that you are already using jokes that you didn't intend to in your presentations. As an example, when I was a up-and-coming supervisor, I was asked to make a 5-year service anniversary presentation to one of my employees. And I said, hey, Bob, congratulations on your 5-year service anniversary. We never thought you'd make it this far. So in that brief little moment, by me tagging that joke on the end there, I completely destroyed the positive energy that had been created, and I minimized the impact of that service anniversary. Learn from my mistake and don't use humor. And in that situation, it wasn't even a planned joke, it was my nervousness at the time. How do you combat nervousness? Practice, practice, practice. So for a great presentation, in summary, make sure that you pronounce the person's name correctly, have specifics to share about why they're being awarded, and anytime you can tie it to company goals, that's also a great plus, because then the people in the audience understand, hey, this is how I could also get recognition, is if I model what that employee is already doing. And then that'll take me to my last tip, number 4, the importance of the award choice. So even though I've been saying that the presentation is very important, keep in mind that it's the award itself that the employee is going to keep. It's what they're going to display. It's what they'll cherish for time to come. So if you're doing a formal award, I highly recommend personalized trophies, similar to the ones that I already showed you earlier. You can personalize the trophy and have something that conveys the same level of magnitude as the event that you're giving the recognition for. Another great thing to do is certificates. So making up a professional certificate like this is something that also can go along with a formal award. But you know what? Certificates also make a great way to honor somebody informally. They're very easy to put together, and you can do them quickly if you wanted to have them at an informal event. Speaking of informal recognition trophies, one of my favorites is taking one of our character pins on a character storyboard and engraving it on getting an engraved nameplate on the presentation board. So I have a great story from one of our customers who her manager selected her to receive the Starfish Award. So she took she had the employee's name engraved on the presentation board, and in front of the audience, she read the Starfish character story and shared how this is the impact that that employee has on the organization. It was so powerful that she almost went into tears, but she did have them well up in her eyes. Again, the character stories are such a great way that you can do informal, easy recognition and have it feel like a trophy. Another nice thing about character stories, you can also use them formally too, because all of our character stories can be engraved on one of our formal jade trophies. So let's say you do want to have a more formal recognition event, but you have multiple people that you're trying to recognize, you can pick a different story. We have over 100 on the Baudville website, and use it to pick the one that matches exactly what that employee did to receive the recognition, and it'll be personalized with their name as well. Corey, how am I doing on time? Those are my 4 main points.
Kurt, we're doing really well. We've got a few minutes left to have some time for you to share your day-to-day recognition awards. We also have someone in the chat who says they have a volunteer appreciation dinner coming up in April. Any tips you want to throw out for them?
So first of all, if you already are having the dinner set up, fantastic. What I recommend for dinner events is if you use our themed border paper, you can even make table tents with each person's name using some of our border postcards folded over. So having that kind of theme with your volunteer recognition event is a great way to have it feel super coordinated and make it very memorable for the people there.
Great, thanks Kurt. We're going to keep going and share those day-to-day recognition award ideas. If you're not able to stay with us, remember the archive version will be available on our website, and we'll have a link from that in Kurt's blog, which will be up in just a few moments. So Kurt, why don't you keep going?
Okay, so if you can hang in with me, I'm just going to run over a couple minutes because I want to talk about day-to-day recognition, because there's no reason why you can't be doing recognition all the time. One of the favorite products that we have here at Baudville is called Spot On. He was the guy who was holding my seat for me at the beginning. Spot is a traveling trophy. He's really fun. It's a peer-to-peer recognition event that we have here. So you earn points and it gets passed to the next employee, but it makes for a perfect recognition presentation because you can do a quick stand-up meeting. One employee gets to present Spot to the next, and then he gets to travel on. So we love Spot here. And one of my personal favorites are our paper trophies. So it's a heavy cardstock, 3-dimensional paper trophy. They're very inexpensive, but if you arrive in the morning and have one of these sitting on your desk with a personal note, people remember it. In fact, just yesterday, I have 2 new employees here in our call center at Baudville. Their 1-month anniversary was yesterday. Guess what I had waiting for them when they got in the morning? And guess who had a big smile on their face for the rest of the day? You don't have to spend money, though, to do daily recognition. Another fun thing we've done here at Baudville is we have a homemade traveling trophy. This is actually an antique doorknob, and we present this trophy and it travels around the building to whoever has the best new product idea from anywhere in the building. It could be a distribution center employee or somebody in marketing a new product. But it's fun, people are really proud of it. We present it at a little ceremony, and it's cherished here at the building. Now, if that looked a little too imposing or you don't feel you have those kind of art skills, check out this. How's this for a daily recognition easy trophy? It's a paper plate. It was actually created by my social media maven, Corey Curtis. She presented it to James, one of our new product designers, because he helped her when she needed some assistance building her Cubicle Chronicle videos that are available in our resource center. So lastly, I'll talk about our perpetual plaques that we have. So this might not look like daily recognition because it's sort of formal, but the reason why I wanted to share this one is it has historical significance here at Vaudeville. It's been around for a long time, and it was created in the marketing department called the Prognosticator Award, and it was something they had fun with and nominated each other, and they had presentations each month to go along with it. So the reason I'm sharing this at the end is it's a great way for you to start a simple recognition program if you pick something like Employee of the Month, Sales of the Month, Safety Winner of the Month. You can get something started right away very easily, and we'd be happy to help you.
Great, Kurt. As a matter of fact, someone watching and participating in our chat room has their first quarterly award presentation coming up and has really enjoyed the tips. So hopefully they'll be able to use some of this to make those awards really memorable for their employees. Well, that's everything we have today. Well, I'm going to keep chatting with people because we're talking about some award presentations they have coming on, but Kurt's going to sign off. Again, please view the archive on our website. Oh, and I see that the web address is not showing up right now, but you can also get that on our blog, and that's going to be up very soon as well. So thanks everyone for joining us. Kurt, do you want to send us off?
Yes, so remember, make recognition a habit, and then you too can be a director of Positive Mojo. And remember, nobody ever complains that they've been appreciated too much. Thank you.